To add the shit cherry on top of this nasty poop cake, it turns out that emotional reasoning is also the main cause of procrastination. What's up, everyone? It's Siddharth here, and today we are diving into the 4 thinking patterns that lead to anxiety and depression. Now, before we jump into it, let's just make sure we understand why we should care about our thinking patterns. You see, a popular type of psychotherapy called cognitive behavioral therapy is based on the core premise that our cognitions, also known as thoughts, are the ones that determine how we feel, which in turn leads to how we act. So what that means is that positive and empowering thoughts result in us feeling better, which results in better action, which then in turn results in better feelings. And so upwards and onwards we go. On the flip side, negative messed up thinking leads to us feeling shitty, which then leads to shittier actions, which in turn lead to shittier feelings, and down the slope we go. So what that means is that if we could just get a handle on our thoughts, we could actually control the way we feel and what we do. So what's the first step to be able to do that? It's to be able to identify when our thinking falls into these patterns that aren't quite right. And so now, without further ado, let's jump into the 4 thinking patterns that lead to anxiety and depression. Number 1, all or nothing thinking. Now, this is when you start viewing the world and yourself in a black or white, extreme sort of way, without any shades of gray. So either you succeed or you fail. You feel super smart or you're a dumbass. You feel like a winner or you're a loser. Either you're perfect or you're garbage. This is the most common twisted thinking pattern that we tend to fall into. Anytime you find yourself saying or using words like you always, I never, every time, you might as well have, that's when you know that you're switching into all or nothing thinking mode. It also happens to be that this type of thinking is the foundation for perfectionism, fear of failure, fear of rejection, and is pretty much a guaranteed sign of a fixed mindset. Number 2, being hypersensitive to the negatives. You see, it's built into our physiology to pay more attention to the negatives over the positives. Now that's because back in the day, it was all about survival. And survival was all about being able to avoid those fatal mistakes. However, when this instinct of ours gets out of hand, all we start to notice are the negative things. And pretty soon, we get to a stage where a situation that is made up of 99 positive or neutral things, but one negative thing ends up being a completely negative situation for us. And it doesn't just stop there. Pretty soon, it escalates to a point where we not just start noticing the negatives, we also start disqualifying or discounting the positives. You see, this is a gnarly one. It can really suck the joy out of life and make everything seem super bleak and downbuzz. A couple of common signs of this are when you find that your day or your week got ruined just because of one thing that went wrong. Another sign is when you actually struggle to take compliments. And whenever someone compliments you, instinctively and automatically, you talk yourself down or you just brush it off. Like, oh no, that wasn't anything. Oh, that was just a fluke. Number 3, being a serial assumer. This is when we assume and interpret things, mostly in a negative way, based on partial or no factual information at all. This generally comes in 2 flavors. The first is when you find yourself just expecting things to go wrong. You know, I bet I'm gonna fail this test. I bet that's not gonna work out. I bet when I go talk to that person, they're gonna reject me. And the other flavor is when you assume that people are hating on you or have evil intentions towards you based on nothing concrete. So things like, oh, she didn't even smile at me. I bet she's mad about something. Or he didn't really talk to me properly. I wonder what's going on with him. Or that person didn't text me. What did I do wrong? This type of thinking ends up with us getting worked up for no reason and getting in our own way. Number 4, and finally my favorite one. And when I say favorite, I don't mean it in a good way. I just mean that it's the one that I fall prey to a lot. And that is emotional reasoning. This is when we take our feelings for facts. So we believe and act as though just because we feel super strongly about something, that makes it true. I feel like an asshole, so I must be one. I feel like a dick, so I must be one. I feel like a loser, so I must be one. You see, emotional reasoning is a problem because our emotions and feelings are created based on the internal rules that we have set for ourselves. And if those rules are messed up, you can almost guarantee that the resulting feelings will be messed up as well. And if we believe our feelings all the time and we have messed up feelings, then what does that mean? It means we're gonna get messed up pretty badly. To add the shit cherry on top of this nasty poop cake, it turns out that emotional reasoning is also the main cause of procrastination. We feel overwhelmed or intimidated by a certain task or by the thought of doing a certain task, and we take that as proof of the fact that that certain task is intimidating and overwhelming and impossible. Even though when we actually get around to it and get it done, it turns out that, it wasn't that bad. So that's the 4 common thinking patterns that we can fall into, which lead to anxiety and depression. Now, pop a comment below and let me know if any of those sound familiar to you. For me, all or nothing thinking and emotional reasoning are the ones that I find myself, just falling into quite frequently. Now, you might be feeling a bit hopeless and concerned about all these thinking patterns, but don't worry, because you've already taken the first step towards breaking out of these by learning how to recognize them. And in the next few videos, we'll go over each one of these in detail to understand exactly what it is that they look like, how to spot them, and how to break out of them. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. And if you found this to be useful, please smash that like button. It shows me that you find this stuff useful and encourages me to post more. So that's all for now, folks. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one. Nope. It means we gonna get up.